Episode 4. At that moment, Jong-ee's heart dropped. The chopsticks she was holding fell to the floor. The clattering sound echoed unusually loudly. Jong-in slowly raised her head and looked at the old woman's face. A wrinkled face, white hair, and that gaze. It was a face she couldn't forget even after 9 years. It was mother-in-law Mija. But Mija didn't seem to recognize Jong-in. She seemed to be merely reminiscing, drawn by the smell of the kimchi stew. Mija's eyes grew moist. My daughter-in-law was really good at cooking, Mija muttered, as if talking to herself. Jong-in felt suffocated. 9 years ago, that mother-in-law had poured venomous words at Jong-ee. She said the husband had an affair because the wife was lacking, that she wasn't qualified to be a daughter-in-law. But now, she was saying her daughter-in-law was good at cooking. The strength left Jong-ee's legs. She barely managed to stand by, holding on to the counter. She tried to take a deep breath and maintain her composure. "Would you like some kimchi stew?" Jong-in asked, suppressing her trembling voice. Mija nodded. "How much is it?" "It's 5,000 won." Mija took out 5 crumpled 1,000 won bills from her old wallet. Her hands were shaking badly. While packaging the kimchi stew, Jong-in observed her mother-in-law's appearance. She looked completely different from 9 years ago. Shabby clothes instead of expensive ones, a hunched back instead of a straight posture, and above all, the sharp gaze was now blurred. "Here you go." Jong-in handed over the packaged kimchi stew. Mija took the bag and smelled it once more. "It really seems like it will have that taste. Thank you." Just as she opened the door to leave, she turned back once. "Ma'am, have you been running this shop for a long time?" Jong-in hesitated for a moment. Then she answered quietly, "It's been 9 years." "Is that so? Then I'll come often from now on. All the side dishes look delicious." Mija left the shop with a faint smile. The sound of the door closing was heard. The ding of the bell felt unusually long. Jong-in stood there in a daze. The fact that her mother-in-law hadn't recognized her brought relief, but also a bitter taste. Had 9 years changed so much? She went into the kitchen and leaned against the sink. She looked at her face reflected in the mirror. "I've aged a lot," she thought. Wrinkles had deepened, and white hairs were mixed in her hair. It wasn't just her mother-in-law who had changed. She had changed too. "Yeah, we're strangers now," Jong-in said to herself. She thought it was fortunate that her mother-in-law hadn't recognized her. Maybe it's better to live like this, as strangers. But a corner of her heart ached. The mother-in-law's voice saying her daughter-in-law was good at cooking kept echoing in her ears. Why didn't she say those words back then? Why did she only say harsh things back then? Jong-in hopes to keep the past buried, but fate has other plans. As her mother-in-law promises to return, a storm of old wounds and new questions threatens to disrupt Jong-in's hard-won peace. Can she truly pretend they are strangers?